Stress is so much a part of life, and today I'm joined with Miss Toyin, and she's written a book, Let's Share Coffee, and it's about mental wellness. Today, we want to talk about empathy and how this is so relevant to helping you to overcome and beat stress. So, Miss Toyin, you're very welcome. I would like to know from you, what's the most stressful situation you have faced recently, and how did you navigate it? And what did you learn about yourself in that process?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, recently I hit a wall creatively, emotionally, and physically. Like eating. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible.
So, between managing expectations and for everyone else, I felt like I was disappearing, just not there. Took a step back. I locked off and just decided to just be, and this pause revealed something powerful. I don't have to carry it alone. I don't have to do this alone, and I can rest without guilt.
Wow. I love that part where you say that you can rest without guilt. Most times we feel the pressure to perform, to show up, even when we are probably not able to physically. And we keep pushing ourselves and feeling guilty as to why we are not performing. But that's really amazing that you can rest without guilt. Do you recall a moment where someone showed you empathy and maybe it changed you, it shifted your perspective about your own challenges? Could you tell us what happened in that situation?
A very good friend called me in tears. She felt like life was slipping out of her fingers, you know? So I dropped everything and decided to be there for her. I did not ask any questions. I just stayed there. I was just by her side, which encouraged her to open up. And as she kept talking, I saw pieces of myself
Wow.
reflect in what she was saying, you know? So that moment reminded me that we are all carrying some weights, invisible weights. We show up, we laugh, we smile, we kid around, but the invisible weights are there. So as she talked, I also saw that, yes, she's making a lot of sense. So I know that I don't have a way to fix it because empathy is not necessarily to fix. What some people want is just for you to be there for them. They're not ranting, they're not talking to you because they need you to fix it. They need you to hear. So learn to listen beyond words so that you can truly be there for whoever is talking to you. And don't assume,
Wow.
neither should you jump to conclusion. Give them that space, hold that space for them to vent, to rant, because that is when they can get the healing they desire.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I think mindfulness is something that is so important if you're going to manage all the challenges that life may throw your way. Sometimes it's financial challenges, sometimes it's family. And could you maybe tell us how mindfulness has impacted your life personally? I know that as a mental wellness coach, you practice mindfulness every single day. Tell us more about your experience.
Mindfulness has taught me not to rush through life like as if I'm going through a checklist. You know, my favorite practice is my coffee in silence.
Wow.
When I wake up, I pray. I don't hear than everybody in my house, so I don't have any disturbance. So I pray. Once I'm done, next thing is my coffee, and I just sit quietly and have my coffee. During that, reflect, or sometimes blank, to feel the warmth of the cup and perceive the odor of the coffee and just be. And for 20, 30 minutes, I'm holding that space for myself to, to be mindful that I am also a human, I'm not a robot.
Mhm.
So, and my day goes on from that. It's a kind of reset for me.
Wow.
And it has been helping me to to move right and to move on with the day
Mhm.
without issues.
Wow. So for those who are watching this, there's so many people that have different mindfulness practices. For some, it could be just sitting out in the grass, enjoying the sunset. But the most important thing is being present in that moment and having that time to be with your thoughts. We live in an information age, and you have talked about it, how the media, social media, we always want to be online, and that takes away from our ability to be present. We're always scrolling and getting notifications. We've talked about this before, and this affects the mindfulness and it increases the stress. Have you, in your personal experience, realized the moment where you felt like stress was holding you back? And how did you shift your mindset? So, what advice would you give to someone who's out there struggling with a similar situation?
Sometime back, I got to a stage where I realized I was running on fumes because I kept saying yes to practically everything, you know. And it came to a head when I snapped at someone who was just asking a question, who wanted clarity on something. Instead of me to listen, I just flared up. And that was a turning point for me. It was a wake-up call that I am snapping at someone without reason. Actually, why should I snap at all? You know? So back. I stepped back and started asking myself, what is a more better way to handle this? I need to distress. I need to check myself. Not, I mean, it's time for me to self-compassion and sit back to see what I shouldn't be doing and what I should do. So instead of me to wait for burnout to take over my space, I decided to work on it and embrace self-care. And my advice is don't wait for burnout to take over. Don't wait for burnout to take over. Embrace self-care. Show that compassion to yourself.
Wow. That's really very good advice, because most times we find it so easy to care for other people. If we're going to sacrifice, we make sacrifices for other people, but when it comes to taking care of our own selves, we find it extremely hard.
Difficult.
And that point that you've made is so important. And I think that taking the time to love ourselves as well is so important.
Mm.
And is there someone in your life who has shown you empathy? And how did it impact your relationship and your community? Or what lessons did you learn from them?
A close friend of mine had sat through with me at a very difficult point or very difficult time in my life. She just called, and when she realized I really couldn't even talk, said, "Oh girl, what is it? Okay, drop the phone. I will be with you in a few minutes." And that was exactly what she did. It's like giving her whole time to me. Just like I said earlier that I did for someone, I also now had someone who did that for me. And no pep talks, no advice. She just was there. And that simple act is what is I'm using up to date. That when somebody calls me, I mean, this is my situation, and I know if I talk to you, I will feel better. What I just allow is give them that space to do the talking.
Wow.
Anyone that calls, I just allow you to talk. And my question after we have talked, maybe you want to rant, you want to vent, I leave you to do all that. And then it's 20. Are you through? Are you done? Do you work now? Or should I still give you some more time? Some will also say, "Oh, please keep quiet. I want to, let me talk." Some will tell you quietly, "Not yet, please give me some more time." So I just try to ensure that I don't rush. If I know I cannot hold your space, hold that space for you, I tell you, "Please, can you give me some minutes so that I can be truly ready to go through this with you?"
Yeah.
So I know that people don't necessarily need answers. They don't need fixing. All they need sometimes is listening ears.
Absolutely. That is so true. And I'm so glad that you offer this service. So if somebody is watching this live stream right now and you need a listening ear, someone who's just going to listen without judgment, please reach out to Miss Joyne. How can people reach you, and how can people get your book?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn as Toyin Tope Adedipe. My surname is Tope Adedipe, so you can search for me. I'm on Facebook Adedipe. I'm on Instagram as Toyin Tope Adedipe. I'm on TikTok as Toyin Tope Adedipe. And my book is available online on seller.com. It's on seller.com. You can easily search "Let's Share Coffee." You will see the book there. If you don't have the link, and the link is, we also have the hard, it can be mailed to you wherever, it can be delivered all over. Wherever you are, you can get the hard copy. If you say so, it will be mailed to you as appropriate.
Wow, wonderful. We've come to the end of our live, and we're so happy that you joined us today. And for all those that are watching, please be sure to reach out and don't forget to show empathy, because it's only through this that you can beat stress. Showing empathy to others, but also, and most importantly, showing empathy to yourself, recognizing when you are burnt out, like Mr. In said, and taking a step back to reset and recalibrate.